This is a tale of my two great-grandfathers and my two great-uncles who fought in the Great War from 1914 to 1918, the war to end all wars. The first story that follows is of three brothers in arms, my great-grandfather William and my two great-uncles Donald and Cyril. Born May 10th, 1882, my great-grandfather Winthrop Reginald Starr Allen arrived in Vancouver, Canada in 1905 at the tender age of 23. Seeking to start life afresh, he dropped his given names, preferring to be called William or Bill F. At a New Year's Eve dance in Vancouver, Bill met and fell for my great-grandmother Emma, a country girl from Gothenburg, Sweden. Emma arrived at Ellis Island, New York, with $17 in her pocket in 1897. She lived and worked for a family in Batavia, Illinois, until she learned enough English and saved enough money to travel by train from Toronto to Vancouver. Bill and Emma married and lived in a house at 431 Vernon Drive near Hastings and Commercial Drive. In February 1913, they welcomed the birth of their son, William Michael, nicknamed Mickey. 1913 also ushered in a recession in Canada. Economic times became tough. Political storm clouds were gathering in Europe. William needed to ensure he could provide for his family. On February 5th, 1916, at the age of 34, he enlisted with the Canadian Expeditionary Forces 47th Battalion, Victoria Fusiliers, on February 5th, 1916. After basic training at Willows Camp in Victoria, William and his contingent left Victoria Harbour May 23, 1916 for Britain and France and Flanders. Now, before William embarked on the Princess Charlotte on May 23rd, he wrote a heartfelt letter to Emma. My dear wife, just got your letter today. We got new arrangements now. The whole battalion is here. We've got 1,100 men, and we have to go to the post office for our mail now. Well, baby, I've got bad news for you. We got orders on Tuesday to be in readiness to move at once, and they say that we shall be leaving for England in 2 weeks. As soon as I heard that, I got after them for a pass, but they will not give anybody a pass at all. But the captain said that he expected us to get 48 hours leave next week, and he would try and get me a little longer. We are going with the 72nd, so just as soon as I can get away, I'll be right home, and then you can come here and wait till I go away. I'm sorry that it has come so sudden, but the sooner I get away, the sooner I'll be back. We have not had our final medical examination yet, so maybe I'll get out yet, and there's some talk of drafting some of us to the CMR. If so, I'll try to get in that. They won't be going for quite a while yet. They are working us pretty hard these days to get us in shape. Well, dearie, I'll let you know as soon as I hear anything. There's been awful wild times since they got the news. The boys are tickled to death. Well, good night, dearest. I'll soon see you. Kiss dear Mickey, your loving husband, Bill. After training at Aldershot in Hampshire, the 47th traveled to France and Flanders where they would serve. The 47th would see Western Front action at Mount Sorrel, Fleur-Courcelette, the Somme, Arras, Thiepval, Vimy, and Passchendaele, to name a few. While Corporal Allen was fortunate to survive the war and return home to his wife and 7-year-old son, he suffered from serious lung problems caused by breathing poisonous gas in the trenches. He died in 1930 in his 47th year, leaving his bereaved widow and his 17-year-old son. William's brother Donald Allen, born October 22nd, 1896, enlisted in the Hampshire Regiment. His service number was 204677, 15th Hampshire Yeomanry Battalion. He and his comrades also served in France and Flanders and earned the rank of Lance Corporal. In heavy action near Kemmel Hill, Belgium, Donald was killed on September 4th, 1918, just weeks before the armistice on November 11th, 1918. Cyril Starr Allen, born June 15, 1891, joined the 3rd, 4th Battalion, Wiltshire Regiment Royal Welsh Fusiliers on the 23rd day of January, 1911. Cyril served with the 3rd Battalion Royal Welsh Fusiliers, was promoted to corporal, and was wounded near Albert, France, in early 1918 with a serious bullet wound to his left shoulder. After 106 days in military hospital at York, he was discharged August 10th and given a 10-day furlough to visit his young wife and infant daughter. August 20th, he returned to duty, and on November 4th, 1918, he was admitted to Butavant Military Hospital, suffering from pneumonia. His temperature soaring, his resistance weakened. Corporal Allen died 11 days later of influenza. Cyril Starr Allen was 27 years old. My maternal grandfather, Arthur Cameron Kay, was born January 5th, 1890, and grew up in northwestern Ontario. Arthur trained with his battalion at Camp Hughes and headed overseas in the fall, embarking from Halifax on the SS Olympic on September 18th and landing in Liverpool a week later. On the 25th of February 1917, the 107th Battalion was sent to France, where it served as a pioneer unit. Pioneers worked closely with the engineers and spent a large part of their time at or near the front lines. Their work included mining, wiring, burying cables, tunneling, railway and road work, constructing water systems, and building and repairing trenches and dugouts. They also served as infantry when needed. In January 1918, he developed a contagious skin infection, and he spent 2 weeks in the hospital. While in hospital, Arthur received letters and a gift, a pocket-sized Hamlet from an English girl named Kathleen Stalford. He would correspond with Kathleen and carry her gift with him for luck. In December, the 2nd Battalion, Canadian Engineers, took part in the march to the Rhine, crossing into Germany and staying there with the occupying forces for about a month before returning to Belgium. The troops in Arthur's unit were sent back to Great Britain in several stages. Arthur arrived in England on the 22nd of March, 1919, and sailed for Canada about 6 weeks later. He was discharged on demobilization on 11th of May in Port Arthur, Ontario. In 1920, Arthur and Kathleen were married in Montreal. They counted their blessings when 2 sons, Gerald and Hugh, were born in 1921 and 1923. Arthur returned to the lumber industry as a sawyer and foreman, retiring in 1959 and finally passing on January 27, 1964, at the age of 74. The terrible loss and suffering caused by a great war, any war, is crushing. We weep for what has occurred And still, as Martin Luther King Jr. observed, it is not enough to say we must not wage war. It is necessary to love peace and sacrifice for it. I wish I could have had the privilege to meet them, to like and laugh with them, and though they are gone, I love them and thank them for their service and their sacrifice.